All right, diving in today, and we're looking at The Tools, that book by Phil Stutz and Barry Michels.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah, we've got these excerpts, and they're kind of like, okay, tell us about this book already. Like, what's the big idea, right? What's the good stuff you might find, and are there any like hang-ups, anything to watch out for?
Right, right. So we're basically you're the tools breakdown crew trying to give you the full picture.
Exactly. So you can figure out like, hey, does this thing even speak to me? So first off, it's all about the tools, right? Like that's the name of the game.
Front and center, yeah.
There are these techniques you can actually use for when life, throws its curveballs. It's not just a bunch of theories.
It's like less talking about the problem and more about like doing something about it.
Exactly. And that seems to be one of the big pluses, right? It's like they're handing you these practical steps for self-improvement. Instead of just being stuck in the what's wrong, you get a how to fix it, or at least how to start fixing it.
It really makes you think about how our brains like build habits. If you consciously choose a new action through this tool, maybe you can actually rewire those old patterns.
Yeah, yeah. It's not just be less anxious. It's more like, here's a thing you can do when that anxiety pops up. And from the excerpts, it seems like these tools can give you a whole new angle on stuff you thought you knew.
Like maybe you've been stuck in this rut forever and bam, the book gives you this tool that's like, see it this way, and suddenly you can react differently.
That's got to be so empowering, right? To feel like you can actually like steer your own emotions.
For sure, for sure. But then that brings up the question of like, how much can these tools really apply to everybody?
Right, right, because everyone's different, right?
Totally. What works for one person might be totally useless for someone else. It's almost like
Yeah.
different wrenches in a toolbox. Some problems need a specific tool, and not every problem's the same.
Yeah, that's a great point. And can a set of techniques really cover all those individual struggles? It makes you think,
Definitely. And the excerpts mention these personal stories.
oh, right.
And it makes you imagine how someone might use these tools in their everyday life. Like
Yeah.
you're totally swamped with work. And one of these tools is like, here's how to break it down, and you get your focus back.
Or you're in that same argument again with your partner or whoever, and a tool helps you step back before you just react.
Yeah. Yeah. Like having a mental reflex, a go-to move when things get rough. And it
Mm.
seems like they try to make it kind of fun with some humor mixed in.
Right, so it doesn't feel like this big, heavy psychology thing, just like practical skills.
And that's probably where those aha moments come from, that shift in perspective. When you stop a negative thought spiral or react differently to something that usually sets you off, it can lead to some real insight.
Like you're literally building new pathways in your brain.
Totally. But then, how easy is it to actually adopt those new pathways and use them consistently?
That's the real question. So basically, the heart of the tools is giving you these practical mental techniques to handle everything life throws at you.
And the big potential reward is that feeling of, like, control, you know?
Yeah.
You're not just at the mercy of your emotions. You've got ways to improve things and handle whatever comes up.
And it's important to remember, even though the book lays out this whole framework, whether it works is really up to the individual, right?
Absolutely. It's all about taking an active role in your own, like, mental well-being. But you got to really think about whether these specific tools actually fit your experiences, your challenges.
That's such a good point. This has been a really fascinating look at the tools, I think. So for everyone listening, the big question to walk away with is, does this whole mental tools thing, these techniques, does it feel right to you for dealing with problems? Could checking out the tools, could that give you some new ways to handle your own challenges? Think about it.
Yeah, lots to consider.
For sure.
Definitely.